Hey there, everybody. This is Carrie Hamblen, the CEO and president of the Las Cruces Green Chamber of Commerce, coming to you again with another one of our Zoom chats. I love that our Zoom chats have become popular with our members. And we have one of the founding members of the Las Cruces Green Chamber of Commerce and a realtor that focuses on green, sustainable, renewable energy homes, energy efficiency. It's the one and only Renee Frank. Hello, Renee. How lovely to see your face.
Hi there, Carrie. It's so good to be with you. It's good to see you too.
Yes, we've both been really busy during the pandemic. We were able to connect when it comes down to talking about utility rates. So thank you very much for your support on that. But as a realtor, it seems really odd to say, but during the pandemic, real estate has actually been something that has been very busy for you.
Yes, it has. It's been an interesting time. Essentially, we're experiencing what's being experienced all over the country, and that is that there is a scarcity of supply of homes. And because of that, because there are not enough homes to satisfy the demand, it has caused a lot of competition for homes, and it has pushed up home prices. Now, in Las Cruces, we are experiencing some of that same thing. We've had better appreciation in the last year than we've seen in 15 years. Yeah.
So is that called a seller's market?
It is a seller's market. Yes, absolutely. And buyers are kind of having to suffer a little bit because of the competition to get the homes that they want.
Right. Well, when did you start being a realtor? Because you've also got, experience in communication. You were with Memorial Medical Center prior to your foray into real estate, but like you hit the ground running and that. So when did you start business, and why the focus on green homes and sustainable and energy efficiency? I mean, it's a no-brainer for me, but I think other people need to know.
Right. Actually, it was 15 years ago that I got into real estate, and that was after having served in hospital management and administration for 15 years, actually, in several hospitals. And anyway, so I have I guess my primary interest from an educational standpoint is in science. I have a bachelor's of science in biology. I've always been interested in nature and in the environment and how we can conserve it. How do we preserve it? How do we fit into nature and into the environment? And when I got into real estate, it really clicked for me. I started to understand how our homes are they are like little ecosystems that interact with the environment outside. They create an indoor environment for us that affects our health, it affects our mental well-being. It can affect everything, our productivity, our ability to be successful in the world, even our happiness. And it affects all those things either in a positive or a negative way. And I've seen it go both ways. So, and as more and more information began to come out about global warming and climate change, then it really clicked that one of the biggest ways that we humans are impacting the environment, the global environment, is through our homes. It's the emissions that we put out into the atmosphere in two ways: by the way that our home is constructed, and even more so by the way that our home is operated, how we heat it and cool it and light it and so forth. It's the amount and type of energy that we use in our homes, and that has a huge impact on the environment. So I really started to connect the idea of sustainability in a big way to real estate and to homes. Our homes need to sustain us. They must maintain, I believe, our safety, our health, our psychological well-being. If you think about it, so your home is probably the single most important physical aspect of your life in terms of what's contributing to your health and overall well-being. I think that's true for all of us. Homes also need to be economically sustainable. And we saw what happened during the late 2000s, 2007, 8, 9, 10, when so many people couldn't sustain their homes. They were foreclosed. So many people lost their homes. So, and that had a huge impact on me because that happened as soon as I got into real estate. I got in 2006.
What a
And
time to get into it.
everything was going downhill. And that had a huge impact on the way that I see real estate. And I think about that even to today, that we need to be able to sustain our living situation, and that means economically as well. So the opposite of sustainability or sustainable is unsustainable. Well, when you talk about unsustainable real estate, that just doesn't make any sense. So to me, sustainable real estate is it. That's what we have to focus on. We have to become more informed about, and we have to have this conversation about what it is that makes a home more sustainable for us, for our own health and well-being, for the planet, and for the economic feasibility, the prosperity. All three of the major pillars of sustainability, we all have to meet those for our homes and for real estate. So I don't see how to separate the two.
Yeah, and it should be really something that builders and designers and municipalities all just like they focus on that. And I mean, there was a time where things were net zero. Now we're focusing on zero energy or negative, right? Can you explain kind of zero energy?
Yes, absolutely. So zero energy really and net zero energy are the same thing. So zero energy is just a shortened version. We got tired of saying net zero all the time. But a zero energy home is a home that produces at least as much energy as it consumes. And in some cases, it might produce more than it consumes, in which case it becomes a net positive energy or a positive energy home. So,
and that's not really like positively thinking, though. It's a way of saying you're a little bit above what you should be doing. Yeah, you want to be net, you want to be zero, you want to be net energy negative, right? Ideally.
You want to be positive energy because that means you're putting out more energy, you're sending more energy to the grid than you are using. So positive energy is a good thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's so confusing, but I'm so glad you're clarifying it. Well, and that's the thing is that it's really going to become, when we first started with the Green Chamber, talking about people, planet, and profit and think local first, it was really trying to make sure that starts becoming part of the regular lexicon, that we start making sure that we talk about this a lot more. And that's the same thing that you've got is like zero energy is going to be part of the regular conversations that we have when it comes down to building homes and maintaining homes and retrofitting homes is like, we want it to be zero energy.
Yeah, well, and here's another thing though too, is that's evolving, and it's evolving into zero emissions as opposed to zero energy. So right now, zero energy homes, you can just put an equal sign and say zero energy homes equals zero emission homes.
Okay.
But I think that the lexicon is going to change. And I think we're going to start to talk more about zero emissions. That's really the bottom line, is we're looking to reduce emissions. We have to.
Now, have you found that there are more zero emissions or zero energy homes now starting to pop up? Because when you and I first met, we started talking about how the real estate market wasn't acknowledging the value solar systems give to a house.
Yes,
that's changed. Buyers are now saying, "Oh yeah, okay, I'm going to reduce my use on electricity. That solar system is a value to me." And so there was a change in that, and I think there are certainly more people who are shopping according to their values if they can afford it. But are you finding that there are more homes that are more zero energy or zero emissions than obviously when you began?
Well, there are more. And so I'm gonna throw a little technicality out here. So by bringing in solar, if you have enough solar to take care of all of your electricity needs, you can become a net zero energy home. However, there's a caveat there, and that is because if some of your energy is coming from natural gas, for example, then you're technically not a true zero energy home.
Yeah, you and I had this conversation because our heater, up until it dies, is gas, and our stove is gas. And so those are the two things that we are struggling with.
Yes.
Right
so,
now.
Yeah. So I could tell you what I see in the market is lots and lots of people have bought into solar. And then when the time comes to sell, they're selling solar homes. Solar homes definitely have value. It's not just a value in the eyes of the beholder. It's a true economic value that can be calculated, and it's proven to be there. So there's absolutely no question that adding solar adds economic value to a home. Now we're at a point where, and I want to explain something about zero energy homes. There's a two-step process to get to zero energy. One step is to have the renewable energy added to it. So that's, and actually that's step number 2 in most cases. Although a lot of people are going into the solar first. And if you've got an existing home, it's easier to just go into the solar first and then work on energy efficiency. And at the same time you're working on energy efficiency, you work on eventually changing out those gas appliances into electric appliances. Now, and it's actually fairly easy. This is like, because of technology, this is like one of the easiest things that people can do. So if someone can't afford solar, because it's a big upfront cost, and I say, great, that's not a problem. Work on energy efficiency and work over the next several years. When your gas appliances go out, get into solar. Now, and I want to talk about get into electric. What's happening is electric appliances are getting more and more efficient than they used to be. A lot of people still have the impression that electric heating, for example, electric stoves, they're not as efficient as the gas. And in truth, that's probably true. It was true at one point in time, and gas certainly is not very expensive right now. But moving forward, electricity is anticipated to be a lot less expensive than gas. And the appliances themselves, the technology is advancing so much that these appliances are way more efficient than they ever were before. And you can put them up against gas appliances any day. I'm going to give you an example. Last year, my hot water heater went out. I had a gas hot water heater like almost everybody here. And I wanted to replace it with electric. I read about these hybrid heat pump hot water heaters, found out who in town installs them, and I've got one installed in my house. These electric heat pump hot water heaters take the heat out of the air and put it into the water and heat my hot water. They're extremely efficient. They cost me less on an operational basis than my old gas hot water heater ever did. I'm saving money. And it even works in the wintertime because it's still, even in my garage, it's going to be not as cold as the outside air, and it will heat that water and not be a problem. So that's one of the most efficient things you can do, is when your hot water heater goes, get a heat pump hot water heater. They're awesome.
That's really good to learn about. We took steps. We were very fortunate enough to take steps to replace our windows. So our house is a 1948 house that had the single pane casement windows. We replaced the windows. We have the jean material, the recycled jean material, blown in the attic space. And our house is a cinder block house, like many houses in Las Cruces. And we had it wrapped in 3 inches of styrofoam and covered in elastomeric stucco. And so we will never see the cracks on the outside of a cinder block house when it naturally settles, but it also has not removed any of our square footage, but also insulated our house. Yeah. And so, and I'm looking forward to our air heater dying so that we can replace it with an electric heater. But it is those small steps, and it's really kind of looking at like long term, if you are in your forever home, it's like, what are the most practical things? I think that's, I mean, that's really what you're saying is like, what is practical for you to do step by step and work toward that?
Exactly, exactly. And I also look at it in terms of this, what the global situation is. You know, the scientists have made it clear to us that we have to stop putting emissions into the atmosphere. And basically what they've said is that we need to bring our emissions to half by about 2030.
Yeah,
So
we have 7 years.
Yeah, so here we go. We're looking at over the next 7, 8, 9 years, we can bring our emissions down in a step-by-step fashion. And one of the best ways to do that, so there's the insulation is huge. That's very important. The windows, very important. The appliances, very, very important. Getting your hot water heater, your heating and cooling. So if your heating goes out, or even if your air conditioner goes out, a lot of people have older air conditioners, and their chances are they're going to go out within the next 7 or 8 years. And nowadays there are the heat pumps that have advanced so incredibly much that they're now rated for cold weather. So that now you can put a very efficient heat pump into your home, replacing both your AC and your heater, your gas furnace, and you will save money, and you will just have that electric heat pump heating and cooling your home. It's, you know,
Well,
it's a
I'll be talking to you about that when that happens for us, because I'd like to know more about that. Now, as we finish up with our video today, there's one house of a mutual friend of ours that you're representing that has some of these net zero or zero energy, really kind of energy efficient things that we've been talking about. And so, do you want to finish up our video today by talking about the Garrett House?
Yes, absolutely. I am so impressed with the Garrett House. So, the Garrett House actually was designed by Billy Garrett for his parents back in 1979. They built this house way up on a hill in Russell Hills. It has just an amazing panoramic view of everything in the valley and the mountains. This house, he took every effort to research, to build this house in a way, to design it and build it in a way that consumed very little energy. These walls are made with reinforced concrete, insulated on the outside, just like yours is now. It has actually, but there's insulation in between the concrete elements. So there's extra insulation in there. It has right now the heat pump technology for heating and cooling. In 2010 or so, that they took, Billy and Cynthia took that house over when their parents couldn't live there anymore, and they had it remodeled according to the leader in energy and environmental design, LEED standards, and they had this home remodeled with all of the latest technology as of 2010, 2011. And this home is now a LEED Platinum home, one of the very few in this area. The energy efficiency is incredible. The water conservation, they've got several ginormous rain catchment barrels that hold a tremendous amount of water that they use for irrigating the land around them. So it conserves energy, it conserves water. They have solar electric, obviously, so they have renewable energy. They also use thermal solar energy to heat their hot water. Nice. This home is a zero energy home. It's a true zero energy home. It has been evaluated by the professionals, so it's all documented, and it shows that this house actually saves more than $4,000 a year. And that was back in 2011, so it's probably more now. in terms of increases, but over $4,000 a year in energy bills. It is all electric. There is no gas in this house, and everything works beautifully. It's just an amazing creation that I hope anybody who's interested, who wants to see this home, just to see how a home like this can come about, how it operates, what it can be like to live in a home like this. Please, I would love to show as many people as possible. We can do small tours to see this home. It has, in addition to all the energy efficient features, it has tons of natural lighting. It was designed in a way to bring in natural light. So you just walk into this home and it feels wonderful. This is the kind of home that supports, it's sustainable in every sense of the word. And it's one of the few that has achieved that pure zero energy.
Well, and the living room is gorgeous, and it uses the afternoon light to light the living room. The kitchen I just love because it's got the see-through to the living room. And so I was really glad to hear that you were. I mean, I'm sad that they're selling their house, but I'm also glad that you're the one that's representing. So Renee, I know that we could talk forever about the zero energy, and we have on a regular basis when we see each other face to face. But if you, as you're watching this video, would like to know more about how to either make your home zero energy, zero emissions, learn how to really plan how you need to make your forever home the most efficient possible, Renee is the one to talk to, and you'll be able to find her contact information either down below or up above, either by phone or by email. And if you'd like to book an appointment to go see the Garrett House to get ideas, or if you're on the market and really want to get a zero energy home, then Renee is the person to see. So Renee, we're going to put all your information in the text. And thank you so much. It's so lovely to talk with you, and just thank you for being such an advocate for making sure that we reduce our impact on the planet. And if it weren't for you, I wouldn't have my job. So I'm really grateful for that. So it's great.
I want to thank you too for the opportunity. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. All right, Renee. Well, you have a great week, the rest of your week. And folks, if you're interested in doing a Zoom chat because you're a member of the Green Chamber, you can certainly contact me here via our Facebook page or via email. So everybody, thanks so much for watching, and thank you for your support of the Las Cruces Green Chamber. Thanks, Renee.
Thank you, Carrie.